Hey, what's up, everyone? I am so excited for this. It's Tom Hayden here. We got Tyros here. We're here for another coaches interview series of the Champions Path Draft League, and we got a great one today. I'm so excited to do this coaches interview. We've been talking to him for a little bit now already. We've probably been talking, shooting the shit for like 20 minutes already, having a blast. So I'm really excited to let you guys into this conversation too. We got Alpaca, the coach of the St. John Seals, on. You can see him at ZE Alpacalypse TTV on Twitch. His Twitter is ZE Alpacalypse. And dude, he's a great coach. He actually beat me in the playoffs season 2. You could go watch it on my YouTube. You could watch that on Twitch VOD if it's still there. I don't think it's still there, so you might have to check it out on YouTube. Season 2, playoff week 1. But he is a great coach, and I'm so excited to hear from him today. So, Alpaca, I'm going to kick it to you. How about you introduce yourself to the league? Tell us a little bit about your Pokemon history, and tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm excited to hear, man.
Well, thanks, Tom. That was a fantastic introduction. Yeah, I was a coach. My first draft league was last season in season two, and I finished decently. I think I don't remember exactly where I finished, but I finished in the playoffs, and I had a great
Top
time. So I
six.
came back for season three, and didn't finish as well. But yeah, other than that, my VGC history, I mostly played with Sword and Shield. Was the first time I really delved into the VGC scene, and been having a great time so far.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey man, so
Yeah.
super excited to have you on here. I I know that we've had some good matches between us, but I really admire the way that you have drafted the last two seasons. The first season, I was actually super jelly of the team that you had with T-Tar and Dusclops, and then this season too, you had a solid core coming right out of the draft with Arc, Dragapult, Gigalith, and Excadrill. Um, what was your mindset going into the draft when we were doing that round?
Yeah, so like you said in season two, my draft, I basically in season two, my mindset was going into that draft was what have I used in ladder and what has been successful, and I really liked the Dusclops Tyranitar, my first two picks. I knew Trick Room was important, and Tyranitar was just a very strong Pokemon in that meta. And then my next two picks were Venusaur and Torkoal, which were also a very strong combo. So that season, I stuck to what I had used on ladder and what I was comfortable with. And this season, I had a very early draft pick, so I wanted something more flexible, like with Dragapult, which was my number one pick. So I wanted something I was more open ended on what strategies I could use. So I went with Dragapult because you can do a lot of things with that. It can be offensive, it can be supportive. It really opened up what I could draft later on if something maybe I had my eye on was sniped or just very flexible in the draft. So that's why I went with Dragapult number one. And just seeing what other people picked, I knew I wanted a strong steel type and kind of wanted the fairy type, the fairy steel dragon core.
Let's go.
I knew that was pretty strong. So that's kind of basically, if I got that, I was very happy with my draft. Everything else, I kind of just played by ear, just seeing what people drafted and what was left on the board.
Dude. So speaking of that, you really took the fairy fairy steel dragon core. Like there's a grass water fire core on your team too. There's like you go for that. So speaking of, are there any Pokemon that you missed out on either season 2 or season 3? Because you're one of the guys that you could speak about both that you missed out on that you really wanted to get. And don't give away any targets for next season. But is there any Pokemon that you're like, oh, I really want to try them in this draft league format?
Season two, I was pretty happy with the Pokemon I picked up, but season three, I kind of realized, I think with my trades, I kind of lost what the team was about, and I actually kind of like my team before I made the trades, but one Pokemon that I really do think is underrated in this format is like Gastrodon. That's just a solid typing, and I think Silver used it before he traded it away. But Gastrodon, I think, is one pick that I looked at in both drafts that I just haven't picked up on that I think maybe I would like to pick up maybe in the next draft. But I think it's a super strong option.
And speaking of that, were there any Pokemon that you really wanted going into the draft that you did get?
Definitely, if it was possible, I would have taken the Venusaur Torkoal combo. That
Yeah.
is a favorite of mine. It's just you can see it when you season 7, season 9, even season 8. It's just such a strong combo, and you can
Yeah.
see even
Yeah.
Behani is I think in the semifinals of the league now, and he
Playing
has that
United
combo.
on Saturday, 4 p.m.
It exactly. It's just such a strong combo. So I think looking forward, if you can get that combo, uh, you should be very well off.
Love it.
Are there any? So looking at how you drafted, the one Pokemon I actually was gunning for that you sniped me on was Jellicent. I was gunning for it that same round that you picked it. I was a little salty, but is
I
there
love it.
is there anything on your team that performed like better than you thought it would, or a Pokemon that you performed like a little bit less than you thought it would overall with your team?
Well, I kind of got a one for each, like one that kind of performed better than I thought it would have, and one that kind of underperformed, I guess. But I think it's kind of two that I think overperformed very early in the season. Sylveon and Surfetch both. I think at one point Sylveon was, I think, 2 games in the season had 6 kills.
Oh shit.
So that was just like a super strong offensive mon that I didn't really expect to kill get as many kills as it did. And Surfetched also, I kind of undervalued its offense early on. But one Pokemon that I don't think it's kind of a fault of the Pokemon. I think it's kind of more how I used it. But Dragapult, I think I brought it. I see here 7 times. I'm not sure how many times I brought it overall, but whether I brought it as a supportive mon or an offensive mon, I just don't think I used it as effective as I could have. I think I think that was kind of more on myself rather than the Pokemon. I think it's a very solid Pokemon. I think I just misplayed that Pokemon, uh, misplayed it in the matches that I brought it to.
And you hate to see that with such an early draft pick too.
Yeah, it's a super strong pick, and I think it's definitely valid as like I think I picked it second overall. I think it definitely warrants a
Hmm.
second value, but I think because I was unfamiliar with using the Pokemon, I think that's kind of the story of this season for me is just Pokemon that was unfamiliar with, I think.
I want to
But
stop you right there. I
yep.
think I think that's more important than anything in draft league. I'm noticing. If
Yeah.
you're comfortable with the Pokemon, it doesn't like I wanted to pick Pokemon this season that I haven't really used before that I wanted to try out. There's like a Rangaroo was on that list, Sceptile was on that list. It's like I want to try these guys out. I think I'm better off like in future draft leagues going with Pokemon I'm comfortable with, and that's such a salient point you just made. It's like, hey, I wasn't as comfortable with it, so that's why I think it underperformed on my roster. It was me, not the Pokemon, and that's something everyone should look out for. That I think I'm never not drafting Colossal going forward because of that.
I I
And
can I completely agree. I think I got caught a little bit up in that as well. I was very uncomfortable. It's I think both of us, or all three of us has talked about before. I really prefer like bulk compared to offensive when I'm playing. And I had a few guys on my team that were straight offensive and glass cannons, and I was very cautious about using them week to week, and I think that held me
Mm.
back. So I completely get where you're coming from, Alpaca with Pult. I completely agree. That's definitely a top three pick. Pick at
Yeah,
number two, I think, is the perfect spot for it. But if, like just like you said, if you're uncomfortable, it can kind of stave you from going forward and using it when you should be. So I completely get where that's coming from.
Yeah, and I want to echo, like, I even noticed, I think Bahani with his trades later on the season, he didn't pick up the Vaporeon at first, and then he picked it up later. I
Yeah.
think in Draft League, I think being comfortable and knowing the Pokemon that you're playing with is very important. Like, knowing certain calcs, what should live what, how to use certain Pokemon. I think that's a very underrated part of the Pokemon that you pick is how comfortable you are playing with those Pokemon. Not only the niche that they fill, but like knowing how to use that niche.
Another
So
Pokemon.
any yeah, go for it, Tyros.
So
Sorry.
another Pokemon that I'm very comfortable with that you snagged was Togekiss, and
Yeah.
I missed it on the waiver wire. It was not on there for very long. I missed it, and you snagged it. I thought that was probably one of the best pickups throughout the whole league. I think was grabbing that guy.
Yeah, and that's another one that admittedly I haven't used enough on my own to
You there?
fully get the value out of that pick, but I seen as some I forget who had it and dropped it, but as soon as that showed up, I was sitting there. I forget if me and my girlfriend were watching a movie at the time, but I was thinking the whole time, I was like, I think I should pick up Togekiss. I was like, Togekiss was on my radar at the beginning of the draft. I was like, if I get Togekiss, Excadrill, and Dragapult, like that's a solid combo. I was like, I need that combo.
Yeah.
And,
For real,
and
for real.
I remember I was like, at the end of the movie, I was like, I need to get Togekiss. I messaged Fox, I messaged Bahani at the same time, just to make sure that it was like, if there's a miscommunication, I want my name to be in first for
I
Togekiss.
love it.
I was like,
Let's
I need to
go.
get Togekiss.
I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah, that was a solid
I
pick.
was salty about Jellison. I was definitely more salty when I saw Togekiss was on the waiver wire and you grabbed it. I was like, God.
Yeah,
That was a
I pulled the trigger as almost immediately as I could on that.
The entire movie you were thinking about Togekiss, which is making me laugh so much right now.
Yeah, that's much Pokemon invades my life.
But dude, that's what I did with Indeedee Female this year. So just for everyone watching, if you're not familiar with the CPDL, we have 24 total teams. Incredible. If you want to apply, check out the Twitter at CPDL12. But it's split into the West and the East. Alpaca and Tyros are both in the West. So when Togekiss got dropped, I didn't have an opportunity to pick it up, or else I would have dropped everything. The way Alpaca's like, I couldn't even focus on the movie. I was thinking about Togekiss. Like that's how it gets sometimes. When I saw DD Female was on the waiver wire, I think it got dropped at 6 a.m. I think I picked it up at 10. And I think I woke up early that morning and was like, oh God, am I gonna do it? And the entire morning I'm in the shower, like, should I get Indeedee? Fits well with Hatterene. I'm getting dressed. Like, I think I need Indeedee. I'm putting on my socks. You know what? I think I'm gonna message Behaney. That's how it goes sometimes. That's so funny. Like that's
Yeah,
such a funny story. What movie were you watching? You remember?
man, I know, man. I don't even fucking remember what movie we were watching, but I remember thinking about that Togekiss. That's the main thing.
I love it. Oh, I fucking love it, man. Oh God, and I got to bring up something that is probably not some the best because you did really well last season, and you didn't do as well this season. Let's just put it. 3-6 record. You did better than me.
That's
So
better than I could put it. Honestly, that's better than I could put it.
yeah, you didn't do as well this season, which always sucks. Like same here, man. I made the playoffs last season. Didn't make the playoffs this season. We have similar records and stuff. So, can you talk about this season versus last season for you?
Well, yeah, I last season was my first draft league, so going into this season or last season, I mean, it was definitely a new experience. But I think I don't want to blame streaming, but I did stream less last season. I did stream a couple games last season, but it was kind of hit or miss. But it definitely adds a different element to it
Yeah,
because I don't. I obviously like to win. It's competitive, but I don't really care if I lose. It's like if I lost, it's probably to a strong competitor.
because we got a lot of
But
them.
yeah, but even just putting yourself out there to the league, it's just a different experience. So I streamed every game this season, and yeah, it was just I think last season I don't want to say I got lucky, but definitely I think I put a bit more effort into the first season being my first thing. I was like, I got to prove myself. In this season, I think I got a bit slack, and I think it showed in my results, obviously.
A little
So
sophomore slump. Wait, I want to harp
exactly.
on that for a second too. So, what's it called? You, oh shit, I just completely lost my train of thought. You said something that I really liked there, though. You try the sophomore slump is coming. So the third season, what are your expectations going like into the next season? Because this season versus last season versus next season, you know?
Like I said, first season, it was my first thing. It was my first VGC draft. I was young. I was hungry. I was ready to fucking prove myself, and I feel like I did my first season. In this season, I think I kind of rested on my last season's accomplishments. Like I came in and I made playoffs, and I I did decent. But this season I didn't prep as hard. I didn't think about my matchups as much. I was slack. So next season or this fourth season, I'm coming in. I'm thinking I have to prove that first season wasn't just a fluke. So I'm gonna be putting the work in. I'm gonna be prepping. Like this is my season to prove that I actually can compete in this league. And I think at moments this season I did prove that I could, but definitely there was a couple moments where I did not.
I completely get 100% where you're coming from. I had some other stuff going on as well this season that where my school is like a little bit more lax during our last season, but at the same time, I did not take it nearly as seriously as season two, and I think that will happen for some of the competitors that if they go from season three to season four, that's going to happen to them as well. And that's just
So
something
watch out for that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I think success, if you're not hungry enough, success can burn into failure.
because I
And
was, yeah. Me
and
personally, I was like, I got a little cocky.
oh,
I was like, oh, I'm
absolutely,
brave.
same man,
Oh,
same. And I think that I completely get where you're coming from, Packet, and I got no doubts in my mind that you're gonna come back strong. Like there is zero doubt in my
oh,
mind.
neither do I. Yeah, I don't
You're
want to see you on my schedule. And saying that, you're probably going to be on my schedule.
Yep. We'll see. I might be in the East this season because I was almost in the East last season. It was
Oh,
only
you
last
last
minute
minute switch.
last minute switch. Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna lie. When
flipped.
I saw your name switch over, there was some cussing coming out my mouth.
And dude, the West was so hard this year, though.
The West was super tight. Like I mean, regardless of where I kind of blew the last half of my season, but like I think who finished in sixth in the West? It must have been like was it 5 and 4? Or no, it must have been 6 and 3.
I'll
It was
check right
pretty
now.
high. Finished in sixth. It was a good record. Who finished in sixth? There was a lot of
Yama
people in
got
the West.
seventh. Yama got seventh at 5-4, so he missed the playoffs with a winning record
It
because of the
was a
differential.
The bottom half of the West was so tight. Like
Yep.
it was
Yeah.
there was just a fluke that because I remember thinking the last week of the season every game mattered except for like a couple. And I think mine was one that didn't matter, but every game mattered. It was a crazy finish to the end of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, it. So kind of shifting gears over to the divisions for the East and the West. I don't know what do you think about that? But I thought it was really interesting how they did that this year. What did you think overall for the two divisions?
I actually really liked the change from last season. I mean, it changes obviously with the amount of people we have in the league, but in season two we only had 12, and this season we had 24. So that's a lot to take on, especially for
A lot.
Fox and Bahani. But
Shout out them.
I think that they handled it flawlessly, honestly, and the East versus West. I think it added. I mean, it doesn't really matter where we are geographically, but it kind of added like a camaraderie. I know Snom,
Hmm.
in multiple predictions, he would pick all West. It was kind of a fun rivalry,
I'm
and then
backing my boys type shit. I
yeah,
love
it's
it.
like Exactly. And it's like I'm on the East Coast geographically, but like I was in the West Coast, so I was pulling for a lot of the West Coast teams to do well in the season. And sometimes that was to my detriment, but it was kind of like it doesn't matter. It's like we're West Coast. We want the West Coast to do well, and I think
It's a
for the most
pride
part,
pride thing for your section, which
yeah,
is nice.
and I think a lot of
I
the
love
West
it.
Coast. I don't know personally. I'm not disappointed in my season, but I think a lot of the people on the West Coast division had a lot to be proud of this season. I think everybody had a good season, whether they finished in playoffs or not.
For real, for real.
But
For
like,
real though.
so I love the East versus West.
Yeah,
We were talking about it with Jade being one big standings, and that was like middle of the season. I forget exactly what week it was, but it was when like the East had mostly losing records and the West had mostly winning records. And now after seeing the season shake out, I fucking love it. And I'm a huge fan of the East West, the interleague specifically. I thought that added such a nice little twist to everything too. And it's just so cool to see how the league grows and whatnot. Like, because it really shook out crazy at the end of the season. The seventh place in the East actually had a 5-4 record too. Proto had a 5-4 record. So the way it shook out, seventh place in both conferences had a 5-4 record. Neither was that much stronger than the other at the end of the day, even though the West felt dominant because of the interleague and everything too. And then it only ended up being 20-16, where it was like 18-11. I feel like at one point.
yeah. That
So
last
it's just
week, really evened it out. Week 9, there was a lot of East over the West that last week, which is super interesting because that had a lot of playoff implications. Um,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I thought it was a great concept. I thought it was executed very well. And
yeah.
I'll be very interested to see because I mean half the league they were brand new this season, and there's a bunch of those guys. This is the first time doing a draft league, so seeing that come in for the next season and make those changes versus like, hey, I wanted like for me, I knew that I wanted I think I've said this a couple times now. I wanted a redirection coming into this season. Like that was something I specifically targeted. And maybe some like those guys come in and say, hey, maybe I want terrain or I want weather or I want redirection this time. And
Or I
that'll
want
definitely
all of it.
yeah, or I want all and that could completely change how the next season goes. I think it'll be super interesting
I
on
love it.
how that buffs out. So yeah, I completely agree, Alpaca. I thought it was well done, and Fox and Behind did great.
Shout out to those guys, man,
What are,
and the new Snomerator too.
all right, so our last question that we got here, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, Alpaca. But what do you got for predictions going in? Again, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but we always love to hear speculation going across the lines here.
And wait, let's set the stage a little bit. So we already saw Jade versus Bananas, and Jade 2-0'd Bananas. So he's gonna face a winner of Jax versus Fox. Then we got Behaney versus United versus the winner of 17 versus Jolt on the other side.
Yeah, so I mean, and I watched the league recap, and I was thinking of the matchups, like four very close matchups. Like I played Bananas very early in the season, and I won 2-1, I think. I don't remember the game exactly, but I remember it being very close. And I also played Jade, and honestly got my ass handed to me 2-0 quite easily. So I picked Bananas in this one, and I watched the match today. It was a couple unlucky flinches. The game didn't go in his way.
I don't think
Could
they
he?
mattered as much. I hate to
No,
interrupt you.
I don't know if they matter as much. I mean, you hate to see it. It feels bad, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, Jade won, and I think he deserved to win.
yeah.
I think regardless of the hacks that happened, but so that was my prediction for that game, and so 0-1 at that point. But
Oh God.
I actually I picked Fox to win versus Jax. I played versus Jax, very tough opponent, and I played versus Fox in season 2, and we ended that series 1-1. I beat him regular season. He beat me in the playoffs.
Oh,
But I think Fox is just I think he's just a super solid opponent, and his team. It might not look the greatest on paper, but I think it definitely he knows how to use those Pokemon. Like I think that is the definition of like I would say like a comfort draft. Like he knows what each Pokemon does. He knows what he needs it to do, and he's just gonna use that knowledge to grind out the games. Like I feel like a lot of his games end in like 2-1, but he knows what his win conditions are, and he's gonna play to those. So I'm gonna take Fox in the Fox Jax matchup, and Jolt plays 17.
yep.
That matchup, yeah. Jolt, I've prepped with Jolt a lot this season, and he's a super strong battler, and he has fantastic tech. Like every time we prep, he brings something I'm not expecting,
That's awesome.
and that kind of thing is just gonna catch someone off guard enough. You only need to use that to win a game. Like in a best of three, you just need to win one game, and then it's just a coin flip for the rest. Like so you use that tech to win that one game, and then you can grind out the other two games.
I gotta
So
say
I'm
with
picking Joel.
yeah, I gotta say I would pick Joel for that one too. I think I would agree with Jade in this one. He is by far I think the most improved from last season to this season. He uh he was like kind of up and down last season, and this season he's kind of just like cruised. And he's
He's on a
done
warpath.
yep, he's done extremely well. I think he's put in the work and he's focused. So I agree, Alpaca. I think Joel definitely takes that one.
I
Yeah.
picked 17.
Yeah, well, I mean, 17 is no joke either, right? Like,
No.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about Jolt, but I mean, 17 is as he's here in the semifinals, right? So he's proven his way, but
I'd
it's
love
going to
to
be a
see it
tough
too.
matchup. And then I feel like this is kind of the marquee matchup, the United Behani matchup.
hmm
Like United last season, I feel like United is kind of he was in season 1, and I forget exactly how he did, but I feel like
He made the playoffs. I'm not
he
sure
was
when he lost.
yeah.
He lost to Haney in the playoffs.
So he was successful in season 1 and season 2. I feel like he missed out on playoffs. So I feel
Yep,
like he's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. Season 1
all
he's
three of us.
successful. Yeah, and you as well, Tom. Like he's successful. And season 2 he maybe slacked off a little bit. In season 3 he came to play this season, and he's brought it every week, and it proves he got the bye in the playoffs, and now he's playing Behani.
I picked
I
him to
So
win it all before the season. Sorry to interrupt you, Tyros.
you're good. I agree, Alpaca. I think that is the mark as you said, the marquee of the week. That is gonna be like that is there's no kidding like a finals in the making right there between those two. Um,
Mm.
so that'll definitely be a one to watch for sure.
and saying that, it's like the previous champ. It's hard to pick against the previous champ, but I think United he might be the winner of the season. I think he's hungry for it.
Yeah,
So I think I pick him this week.
yeah. If I was to pick two finals, I think I would pick like the finals. I think I would pick Jade and United. I think
So you think there's going to be a new champ?
oh yeah. I think there'll be
Yeah,
a
I
whole
think
new
there might be a
final.
new champ as well.
I think there is too, but I won't believe it till I see it with Fox and Haney. I won't.
That's true.
That's how I
It's hard
feel.
to pick.
That's
It's
fair.
hard to pick against those two.
It is. It really is. That's fair. Oh
I
man.
won't believe it till I see it, but I think I picked against both of them this week. I think we're gonna get a whole this week we might like find out if we get a new champ or not. But I can't imagine both of those guys get eliminated this week. But I did pick it. Wow. Dude, this was so much fun. Yeah, so we asked all our questions and I just wrote free play at the end. So yeah, dude, like thank you so much for coming on, man. This was awesome.
No, man, thanks a lot for having me. I love doing this kind of stuff with you guys, and I think it's awesome that you guys do this for the league. And I think it's also like it's fantastic you guys get everyone, like even the people that don't stream. It's honestly a lot to stream. So
Yeah,
like if you can't stream, don't
I
feel
get it.
obligated
Yeah.
to. Yeah, it's a whole nother element to add to the game. But if you can't stream, I appreciate everyone getting on and at least having like these interviews with everyone. It's nice to get to know everyone in the league and just kind of brings everyone together.
So I completely agree. Like the community Behaney and Fox are building, you love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. So yeah, I'm so happy that everyone found their way into the CPDL 12 on CPDL, and it's at CPDL 12 on Twitter. If you just stumbled upon this video searching like Pokemon Draft League on YouTube and you're not in the league, reach out on Twitter. Join the community we got growing, man. It's been a lot of fun for me to join. It's been a lot of fun for these guys to join. I'm speaking for you guys, but it sounds like it has been, and it's been a lot of fun for a lot of people so far. So I'm real excited to hear that, man. Thank you. Yeah, Tyros, you got any last words?
Nope. Thanks for coming on, Alpaca. It's always good to chat, man. And good luck in season 4. Can't wait to see what you do.
Oh, I'm so excited to see how you come back and come out in season 4. I might pick you to win right now. You might be my before the season prediction. And if United wins, they'll be 1-0.
Well, I think United's a pretty solid pick, so I'm hoping your prediction for season 4 comes true if you're picking me, because I'm ready to prove that season 3 was just a little slump, and
The sophomore
we
slump. It happens
actually
to the best at the end. It
exactly
happens to the best of us.
we're coming to play season 4, and the season 3 was just like you said, a sophomore slump. So yeah, season 4 is completely different. We're coming to play.
Fucking love it. Alpaca, thank you so fucking much, dude.